guys, so today I'm here to do a book review, and that's going to be for Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin. I can never say her last name, and I've tried so many times and I can't say it. But this is a book I read recently, and I also feel like I'm gonna die trying to do this book review because it's like 36 degrees right now and I didn't have a fan or anything. I have my window open trying to like get some breeze. It's not working, so if I like just pass out in the middle of this video, that's the reason why. But I am so excited that I finally read this book. This book was amazing. I loved it so much. It was a 5-star read, and I'm just so glad I got to it because I bought it a little while ago and I just had it sitting there and I was really like keen for it because the story sounded so cool, but I put it off for a little while. But then I picked it up for the Magical Readathon, and oh my god, I love it so much, and I had to film a book review. And honestly, this year I've only filmed like 13 book reviews, so like it means something that I'm actually putting the effort in to film and talk about this book. And obviously I'm going to talk about spoilers because I just can't. I have no chill and I need to talk about it. Something I've got to say though before I even get into the review is like they are literally so similar to Nina and Matthias. I am living for this, having the very scandalous girl meet the prejudiced dude that doesn't know any better, and then he finally knows, and then she gets better and he gets better. Ugh. It's so cute. I am just in love. And I have to say that having a witch and a witch hunter being forced into marriage is not something I knew I needed, and I loved it. And I don't think another book could do it well, because this story idea is just this book's. Like if anyone else tried to do it now, I'd be like, nah, it's only good in Serpent and Dove, and it's a copy. And this was also a great book for showing that not everything is black and white. There is a lot of grey area in this book, and there's a lot that the characters have to deal with and understand and know that like their world isn't just going to fit into this little box, and there's a lot of different things that can be opened here. And so much of this book was so great, and it was a very good process of like from where the characters started to where they ended. They're so different, but in the best way. Okay, Lou was amazing. She was feisty, she was snarky, she was confident, she did not give a shit what people thought of her, and she was just living her best life. Like honestly, I would love to live like that, yet I have all these responsibilities. And she also never cares what people think she should do as a woman. Like they're all like, oh, well, a woman would never do that, and she's like, bitch, I would. Like she literally doesn't care, and I'm just like happy for this like genderness broken up here, because like she is in a society where things are very like uptight, yet she doesn't care. Even though she's all these things though, she has the biggest heart in this book. Like she cares so deeply for people, and things hit her so much that she keeps it all locked away, that like at first you're like, oh, she really doesn't have much emotion, and then it's like bam, you get it from her, and I'm like, oh my god, I love you. So Reed is our love interest and also the witch hunter. So Lou is the witch, if I didn't clarify. But he has grown up thinking that witches are complete evil and all of them need to die. Like he doesn't see them as people, and he's so set in his way that nothing was gonna ever change him until Lou came in. But still, he is honestly though one of the most like honorable and honest and caring people I've like read about in a while though. Like even though he kills witches, he's still like a gentleman, and like that was unexpected. And like obviously it makes sense because he's lived in this life that he does have these values and prejudice, but like I loved watching his journey throughout this book, of seeing that things really aren't how he thought they were and the way he changes. And he has such a beautiful character arc that like at first I was like, oh, he's a bit weird, but then by the end of it I'm like, I love you and I want you to be my husband. So this book does revolve around Lou and Reed getting married because they find themselves in an accidental compromising position, and to save both their prides I guess, but more Reed's, they get married. So then it's like, oh, it's his wife, you know, this happened, it doesn't really matter, this is what you do, women are dumb. This is where the story went, and it's great too because they got married and they absolutely hate each other. So I'm like, hate to love in the best sense here, because it's a forced arranged marriage that needs to turn to love. Like that's the only way it can end, is they have to be in love. But every single thing about Lou frustrates Reed, and he is of the mindset that wives should be obedient and do what you say and be quiet and just stand there in the corner and don't do anything, even though he is very, very wrong here. But again, this is how he grew up, and he was actually not meant to have a wife, but then like they started letting them have wives, but not many of them do it. So it's also weird for him because he's like, I'm never gonna get married because I'm a witch hunter, and now it's like everyone can get married. But I just love how much Lou is nothing like what he wants a wife to be, and the arguments of the banter is just on point, and just the way it develops to being like, I hate you, to like, I hate you but kiss me, was amazing. And also I just have to say that any opportunity Lou could take to scandalize Reed, she did. And it was great. I loved it that he was so uptight at first, but then he started to loosen up, so that when she tried to scandalize him, he was just like, yeah, do it. Do it. I dare you. He knew to call her bluff, and I was like, yes, he like knows her now and they're in love. It's beautiful. The only annoying thing about their relationship for me was it happened too quickly. Like, hate to love is meant to be a slow burn, and it was like a medium kind of burn. It's like waiting for pasta to boil. Like, you kind of wait for a little while and then it's cooked and then you eat it and you're like, yeah, okay, that happened. Like, I know that they got married and obviously it had to happen in this book, but I just want it to be more of a growth. And we never got any situations where it's like, say he saved her and she kind of started to trust him, or she did something unexpected that he was like, oh, she's not who I thought, you know? Like, I wanted that solidness in the relationship instead of them suddenly being like, I love you, and I'm like, what? How? You were hating each other like 10 minutes ago and now you're in love? Like, this sort of came out of nowhere. Like, I knew where I was going, but it still came out of nowhere. I also gotta say too, I love Lou's best friend Coco, and she's also a witch, but she's like a blood witch and Lou's like natural witch or something. I don't really know how to describe Lou's magic. It either didn't say or I forgot, because even though I read it like a week and a bit ago, I have already forgotten what the witch magic is. When Lou ran away, Coco went with her, and like they've been living together and like not really practicing magic or anything, but it's interesting to see how much they care about each other, and like having all this witch knowledge from both of them when they discuss it was really interesting. But Coco can basically use her blood to heal people and control people, so that's her magic. And Lou's magic is like, she can do a lot of everything, but basically everything she does she needs to sacrifice something for, because there needs to be balance in nature. So like, if she's going to take someone's memories away, she's got to give up a memory, or if she's going to do this, she has to get hurt, or if she does this or this. Like, there's also all these different threads that she sees between people, so she can see where a swap can happen with nature. But it's also been 2 years since she's been like fully into using her magic, so it's really hard for her to like get back into it. Even though she's used magic her whole life, we're actually still seeing the development of her like retraining and relearning how to use this muscle, because it is a muscle memory, but you need to train that muscle. So of course it was gonna eventually happen that Reed was gonna find out that Lou was a witch, and I wanted more drama. Like, I feel like he accepted it way too quickly. Like, obviously he had the argument where it's like, you didn't tell me what you were, I would have loved you anyway, and I'm like, no bitch, you would have killed her because you didn't know. And she was like, oh my god, Red, I love you, and he's like, no, I hate you, you're not my wife anymore, and then she leaves. So he didn't even kill her, like he didn't even capture her. I'm like, nah mate, he's just gonna have a hissy fit and then he'll get over it and then he'll go find her, which is exactly what he did. But yeah, like, I feel like it's not a good way to start a relationship, is to be lying the whole time. So I feel like there's got to be a lot of growth in the next book now, dealing with the fact that she's a witch and like him being a witch hunter, but he's not really a witch hunter anymore because he loves Lou and he's like, I don't care anymore, I will do anything to protect you. But like, he literally spends like the rest of the book trying to find her. And we go back to Lou, and she's been keeping this secret the whole entire book, but it was being alluded to, but we didn't really understand until they told us. But she was basically born to be slaughtered, with the idea of having the swapping magic. If the queen of the witches, because she is the daughter of like the biggest witch ever, so if the queen kills her daughter, she can then use the magic to kill off all the king's children. So once his line is gone, then the witches can come in and take back the land that was taken from them like ages ago. So Lou was basically raised to die at the age of 16, but once she got there and she was about to die, she decided she didn't want that, so she ran. And now all the witches are like, why wouldn't you do this? Like, why wouldn't you sacrifice yourself? Like, why wouldn't you want to do it for the greater good? But Lou's like, no, we shouldn't be killing people to make it better, we should be trying to work together. Like, we don't need to die, like we need to figure this out. But she also doesn't want to die, and a lot of the witches like, I would die for you, and it's like, nah bitch, if you were actually there, I don't think you would. But it was like really intense to know that her mother doesn't love her and she just wants to kill her own daughter. Like, wow, that's so wrong. Like, and the more you read this book, the more messed up it gets, because I'm like, oh my god. But then she gets captured again by her mum, so Reed has to go get her, and she's there on this special night and there's all these witches, and then she does get stabbed in the neck, and you're like, holy shit, it's happening. And I'm just so glad Reed got there. Like, Reed got there in time, and it's good. Okay, one of my absolute highlights of this book is that at the start of the book, Reed could not stand swearing. He did not like it. He didn't like it when she said shit or bitch or fuck or anything. He's like, no, don't say it. But by the end of the book, he's thinking F-bombs, he's dropping them, and he's just like, where the fuck is my wife? What the fuck is going on? Like, I was like, this is a character development right here, that he just doesn't care anymore, and he's like, nah, I'm just gonna be me, and I'm not gonna like be that guy that just says what the hell. He's gonna be like, what the fuck? Like, I loved it so much because there were so many reveals at the end of this book. I have a lot of dot points here just to talk about some of them. So the first one, Lou's father is the archbishop. Like, what the fuck? Like, where did this come from? Like, he is the guy that leads all the witch hunters and his daughter is Lou? I was like, what happened? Did he love her? Because he made this weird speech about Jesus and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, but you didn't actually explain to me if you loved her or not, because he came across the witch and then like accidentally slept with her. I don't know how you accidentally do it though, but it happened. So like, that's her parents, like the witch hunter and the most powerful witch. Like, what the hell? But it's really sad for me to know that her mum doesn't love her, and if her father doesn't love her, then that's just shit for Lou. And then we find out Reed's parents are Madame LaBelle and the king. So he would have died as one of the king's heirs if this thing happened. So that's crazy that if like Lou was killed, Reed would die as well. But his mum is also a witch, so he's the father of the king, and his mother's a witch, so he's one of the male boys that are rarely born, and he was chucked in a bin. I keep calling her the High Witch, but her name's actually Morgana. She was best friends with LaBelle, and then she took her kid when she had a boy and she just chucked it away. So we all kind of knew though, because Lou figured it out, then Reed figured it out, and I'm like, oh my god, that's his mum. Like, that's his mum. Like, he's the king's son. Why is everyone's parents someone major? And then when Lou's dying, Reed sees the bloody thread between them, and he saves her by killing the archbishop, so he has magic. So he's a witch hunter that's actually a witch baby with magic, and I'm like, okay, why do this to him? So now he's gonna be a witch and he's gonna deal with that, so now he's gonna have magic, and it's like, oh, male babies don't have magic except for Reed because he's special. Like why? This was just too much going on in the last 50 pages of this book, because I'm like, why? Just why? Okay, even though I seem like I'm complaining a lot, I did really love this book though. Like, these characters are just my favorite type of characters, and I'm also annoyed now that I read this so early, because I need to know what's gonna happen, yet I have to wait like 10 months. Like, I don't want to have to wait 10 months to know, but that's where my life is right. It was such a good book. I'm just so glad I read it, and just like, I need so many people to read this so that I can talk to them about it. But anyway guys, thanks for watching this review. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!